Hey guys, Matt the Mortgage Guy here. When mortgage rates go up 1%, home prices go down 10%. Have you heard that before? I sure have. Is it true? In today's video, we're going to go over that, whether this is true or false, because I've heard it tons and tons of times. In today's video, I'm going to go over the real stats because here's something for you. It's happened before. We can go look at historical data. When interest rates have gone up, has it translated into a decrease in real estate prices? In this video, you're going to find out. All right, Matt the Mortgage Guy here, residential mortgage broker. I talk to consumers, real estate agents, other mortgage professionals day in and day out. I'm trying to bring you honest, up-to-date feedback on the real estate market, on mortgage rates, on buyer sentiment, and all that stuff. So in today's video, I'm going to go over this myth that every time interest rates go up 1%, that home prices decline by 10%. I've heard your boy Meet Kevin say it. I've heard other people on YouTube say it. And, you know, you can hope for something, you can wish for something, you can say something, but the data don't lie. So today, let's get into data. I'm going to throw up this infographic that's going to show you the last 6 times the interest rates have increased at least 1%. We've got October of 93 to December of 94. We've got one from 96. One from 98, 2003, 2005, and as recent as 2012, the end of 12 to the end of 13, rates went up 1%. And we can look at what happened to home prices. As you can see in the infographic, we've got 3% increase even during that stretch from late 93 to late 94, where mortgage rates went up 2.38%. Still saw a 3% increase in home prices. If we use the logic of Meet Kevin and others, we would have seen a 23% decrease in real estate, right? But instead we saw an increase. Literally 6 for 6 here, right? And the ones that I'm looking at that are the most recent, 13%, 13%, 7%, and 11% home price appreciation while mortgage rates went up, right? There's other pieces of the puzzle to look at, which I want to do because I think that folks are looking at not just home prices, but other factors, right? Like home sales. So here in the second infographic, we've got the same stuff, the same 6 periods where interest rates went up by at least 1%. We saw that home prices continue to go up, but what happened to home sales? Meaning the number of homes that sold. Well, in all but one of these periods, home sales went down, right? And so late 93 to late 94, a 2.38% increase in mortgage rates. Home prices were relatively flat, right? Up 3% over that time period, probably, you know, in line with inflation. We can call it flat, but home sales went down by 11%, right? Demand got pulled back a little bit, as you would imagine, with rates going up that much in that time period. And so home sales went down. The other period from 05 to 06, you might be able to attribute to some other things. It was a weird time in mortgage and home building and real estate, where that one saw a 14% decline. But if you take those two out, the other 3 periods, home sales were relatively flat, right? Down to, up to, down to. And so something else to consider is the number of home sales. And that's what this graph shows. This third slide that I'm gonna walk through is, you know, something where we can compare it to today. This 2.38% increase. When I was watching my friends at Keeping Current Matters go over this Freddie Mac data, they were saying, well, we're not seeing a 2.38% increase right now. Truth be told, when we look at like August to August, we will see something like this. We might even see greater than this because August of 2021, we were in the mid 2s. If we're in the mid 5s, August of 2022, it's about a 3% increase. But the final rate back in the 90s was 9.2. And really the final rate on any of these that we look at after we saw this increase was in the 6s, 8s. The highest one was in 2013, where it went from mid 3s to mid 4s. And this, I remember because I was starting in mortgage in 2013, was an effect from the taper tantrum. This was another point in history in which the Fed got involved and had an effect on interest rates. So interesting to look at that one specifically in 12 to 13, where they went up a little bit more than 1%. They ended in the mid 4s. Home prices were still, up 11%. Home sales flattened out or were down 2%. So interesting stuff to look at historically to maybe guess what's going to happen in the future. So far, the trend in my eyes, if I'm looking at this, is it might stall home sales or create a flattening of how many homes we're selling, but home prices can and likely will still continue to go up. All right. Fourth slide. And what do we got here? We got all of it, right? With how many months it took, how much we increased, what the final rate was, how much home prices increased. I would say or decreased, but they never have, right? On our 6 examples. And then home sales, declining. Last and final slide and thing to consider in here is how many months of inventory we had during these past periods. The data from the 90s is not available, but if we look at the period in 03, 04, 05, 06, and then most recently in 12 and 13, you can see that these were during periods where we had 4 or 5 months of inventory, way more than we currently have, right? We know from everything we've seen and heard that we are at, a point in time where there's a serious lack of inventory. A third of these numbers in most markets in inventory. And so that is always an upward pressure on home prices, factoring even more that it's very unlikely to see home prices decrease because of a 1 or 2% increase in mortgage rates, because we've still got the upward pressure of supply versus demand imbalance. And with months of inventory, in some markets like Sacramento, we got less than a month, right? In other markets, we've got between a month and 2 months, right? But we're nowhere near this 4.5, 4.8, or 5 months of inventory. So in closing, the data doesn't lie. We've had periods where we've seen interest rates increase 1%, 1.8%, 2%, and we've still seen home prices increase. Home sales have decreased or become fairly stagnant, right? Which is what I, talked about in a video I literally just recorded this morning, where March we saw a 4% decline in home sales. But again, that's a function of inventory. We're just low on inventory. So hopefully this was helpful. I think it, does its part to debunk the fact that just because interest rates go up doesn't mean we're going to see a decrease in home prices. If you disagree, if you've got some other data to add, if you just want to come in and spam the comments with "I'm a complete idiot," it's a free country and there's free speech. I'm not going to erase it. Comment all you like. Let me know what's going on in your market. Let me know what you liked or disliked about the video. Let me know your 2 cents. If you'd like to get in contact with me and my team, we are more than happy to help. Go to greatmortgagebroker.com, fill out a form, let us know where you're at, how we can help. We look forward to working with you. Talk to you soon.